And part one is about the inspiration of certain people who are just inspirational people. And for me, one of those is Elon Musk. He's got some ideas about the future that not everybody agrees with. And some people, he actually said one time, some people think I'm an alien, is what he said. And it's interesting. He says the way that artificial intelligence will develop would be similar to an alien life form because it would be so far advanced and so far removed from our ability to comprehend that it would be like an alien life form. And that's just artificial intelligence, which is absolutely inevitable for the next, sometime in the next less than 15 years, easily, easily less than 15 years. The artificial intelligence would. So would it be controlled or not? He had a summit with some senators and different people about putting laws in place to help protect people from the artificial intelligence. Because anyway, I'm not going to get into that because not everybody agrees. It's not. It doesn't really matter if you agree or if you don't agree. Whether you agree or not is not a huge deal right now. What does matter is that you're able to take a new perspective. Because if you want to grow, if you want to be more successful, you've got to be able to train yourself to a new perspective. I'm going to get into this later. It's called flowing momentum. There's a law of change that all things are changing. Some people, you probably have heard them say that the only constant in life is change. And this is very much true. Whether that change is happening to your advantage or not depends on your perspective. That's why changing your perspective is important. By all means, hold your own opinions. I hold my own opinions, but I like to consider both perspectives with you. So, that being said, um, why do I think Elon Musk is an inspirational person? He got pretty famous with PayPal, but PayPal was not his first business. He had businesses before them. PayPal, he got like $70 million, and he decided to start something called Mars Oasis. And this was a way of trying to engage with the public on a new level. So he went and tried to buy some rockets, found out how expensive they were, and that's kind of why he made his own rocket company. Something like that. I mean, it's never that simple, but that was probably one of the reasons, I would guess. The thing is, he didn't care about the money. It wasn't about the money for him. The money wasn't why he did it. He had enough money that he could have lived quite comfortably for the rest of his life, didn't ever have to work ever again. That'd be like winning the lottery. Most people would just quit work and never work again. But he knew something fundamental. A life without work is no life at all. You need work, and you need to enjoy it as well. It's part of the process. So he's an inspirational person because he was not interested purely in the financial aspect of it. He was ready to lose it all. He borrowed rent money because he poured every penny that he had into his company when no one else would, to keep the company alive. He depleted his personal account to keep the company alive. And considering that these companies are still alive as of today, Q1 2020, then he's an inspirational person. And coincidentally, inspiration is one of the four quadrants of love as well. So, as far as I can tell, and I'm no expert, by all means, hold your own opinions. This is just an alternate perspective. I'd like you to consider an alternate perspective if you want to. It's okay. Growth, connection, support, and inspiration is what it's about. Any sort of love that you have is about growth, connection, support, and inspiration. And it's important to understand that love is not something that you have to limit only to a select number of people. As before, I used to think to myself, well, if I love a few people less, then it'll give me somehow, I'll be able to love the people I really love more. But I realized I was confusing myself with trust. And trust is very, I mean, they tend to go together in good relationships. There tends to be trust and love. In relationships that are failing, like, I don't know, the divorce rate in America is probably because there's not enough trust with the love, or because they jumped into things and didn't really actually consider. Like, I think every person should be single for at least, like, I mean, at least a year. I think every person, somewhere between 18 and 25 should be single for at least 12 months straight. Like, no dating of any type, is my opinion, because it really forces you to go inside and look at yourself. People go from relationship to relationship to relationship, and then boom. And it's like, I think that's why the divorce rate is failing in America. Anyway, love has to do that. Like, a marriage is something that's love and romance. And trust is built into that, but it's like love and romance. And you can love everybody, and, like, I don't want to be like me. I don't want to be romantic with lots of other people, but I want to love that's got growth, connection, support, and inspiration. What I mean by this is that Elon Musk started these companies because he loves all of humankind. And that's a concept or percept that's difficult for your subconscious to actually comprehend. But it makes a difference. It really does. The 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 humanity that we all are. Some people have a strong heart that's developed, that can love that strongly. Not everybody has that. I know I'm the easiest person to fool, because the easiest person to fool is yourself. But I like to think sometimes that my heart is actually more developed as well. But that's in part 3B. If you want to stay in the video, that's in part 3B. So anyway, he loves all of humankind. I kind of care about all of humankind as well. And I figured that out about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. I started sort of meditation practice. And one of the people that I also find inspirational is Tim Ferriss. If you'll notice, his book's in the back screen somewhere up against my windshield in the back is a copy of the 4-Hour Work Week. And he's written a lot of other books as well. He also has a podcast called The Tim Ferriss Show. And the podcast is phenomenal. I've listened to probably a quarter or a fifth of all of his podcasts, and he's got hundreds. And every single one of them is a podcast about how brilliant, amazing, spectacular performance artists do what they do to become world class. Namely, in the 4-Hour Chef, the title of which is misleading, explains something called this. DS3 is also worked into STL Pareto. So there's this girl that I met, and this is a bit personal. If you want to skip ahead to part 3, you can. But so there's this girl. I'm in St. Louis, and St. Louis is in the name of my company, STL Pareto, which I started November 27th of 2019. So I've been a business owner now for a little while. I decided I wanted a YouTube channel to be part of it, which is why you're here watching on YouTube. Stay tuned. Like I said, if you're in St. Louis, then you actually qualify for in-person. You actually qualify for a free consultation if you're here in St. Louis. Is the only way that you actually qualify for a free consultation. So if you are somewhere else from the country, you can just go to my website because it's still best in the world. How I'm best in the world and how you can be too. Why I'm best in the world and how you can be too. It's on my website, stlpareto.com. stlpareto.com.